Okay, B'siyata D'Shmaya Perik Yud Aleph. So just, I guess, to go a little bit back, we talked about these two levels of tshuva tato, tshuva Eloi, like two levels, two madrigas of tshuva, and we said that it's good to have the tshuva tato, the lower level, before davening. But the Tanya now is going to explain to us that it's very hard for a person to switch emotions, and sometimes we need to do that. So he wanted to explain, how is it shaykh for a person to be sort of like in a somber mood, but also in a happy mood, all at the same time, or one after the other. Let's have a look. V'omnam, lios b'liboy ha'achna hi b'chinas tshuva tato kanal. V'gam ha'simcha b'Hashem shteyim b'yachad. In other words, in order to have in your heart the hachna, the humility, which is a bechina of tshuva tato, we've spoken about that previously in Perek Yud, and also the simcha in the Rabbeinu Shalom shteyim b'yachad together. That is something that we have mentioned already in Perek Lamadalit. I don't remember, did we get there in Shir? I don't think we got to Lamadalit in Likutei Moharan, did we? I don't remember where we got to the emissaries. We have to redo this one after Yom Tov. But Al-Kaponim, as I state over there, Perek Lamadalit. There's a Moedik Zohar Kodesh, what wants to describe that a person can have tears, not of sadness, but of reflection, of there's no Beis HaMikdash, the Churban by Beis HaMikdash, but also the joy, the simcha of Torah. Feeling the joy from the other side. When you put together with that the Emunah B'tochen Yes Nachon Liboy B'toch B'Hashem, that when a person is mamish with this full B'tochen in the Rabbeinu Shem, ki chofetz chesedu v'chanim v'rachim rav sloach l'sloach tekev u'miyad shemabakar mechil l'slicha me'ito yisbarach kurev v'chamecha mechei p'shoy kapseini tareini v'chol avadosei mechei v'chushoy. These are all the rayas of the things that we're asking the Rabbeinu Shem to cleanse us from our virus. When we ask the Rabbeinu Shalom for mechila, and we say, Rabbeinu Shalom, we did something wrong. Slicha mechila, beli shum sofik usofik sveka ba'olam. That means a person has absolutely no sofik, not even a svek sveka, a double sofik that the Rabbeinu Shalom forgives him. Of course he forgives him. What do we say in Shemona Esther 3 times a day? Take of Shemavakshim salach luni, baruch atah Hashem, chanun hamarbe nisloach. Because Baruch you have tremendous chen, right? The compassion. Hamarbe nisloach. What does that mean? The sofik bracha is hakol. We always paskin that whenever there's a sofik, you don't make the bracha. Let's say I'm not sure if I made a bracha. If I can't remember that, I make a shackle on the tea. Did I not make a shackle on the tea? What do? I don't make another shackle, right? Sofik brachas lahakol. Mishum chashash bracha levatala. So chashash maybe will make a bracha levatala. So the kasha is asking, it's more like a kasha. How can I say if I don't believe that the Rabbeinu Shalom is taka being moichel averas? It's a sofik bracha. You don't have to say it. So you don't know. Sofik bracha is lahakol. Ela must be ein kamshin sofik la. Must be to a yid for the neshama. There is no sofik. Ma'acha after shebevekshanu slach lanu machalanu v'ilu lo haynu chayzim v'chayzim ma'yinu negolim yad. If we wouldn't continue to do averas, we would get the geula immediately. So it's our fault that we haven't been redeemed. That's not a bracha levatala. That's because we continue doing averas again and again. It's the whole reason why we haven't yet been redeemed. The emes is, but Tanya is telling us that even when it comes to a human being, we also have to learn to forgive other people. And that's very, very hard for us to do that sometimes. People did something really bad to us. It's a series, by the way, that I really want to do. Maybe after Yom Tov we'll start it, about forgiveness, but not forgiveness of like Elul and Tishrei and Yom Noraim, forgiveness of other people. People sometimes harbor this hate towards other people, whether it's someone that hurt them 20 years ago and it still bothers them. They meet that person, their blood boils. They haven't forgiven them, and that person is living within their brain space. So it's an idea that maybe we'll speak about afterwards, but the Balatani is telling us that even a person has to forgive another person. When a person asks from you mechila, yeah, your roommate did something bad to you and he really embarrassed you, mamash, I hurt you a lot. Then he comes to your Yom Kippur and says, no, Michael, you don't want to do that. Forget, you're meant to be moichalim immediately. Don't be a cruel person and prevent yourself from being moichalim. Even if it's cutting off the hand, meaning even if it's something irreversible, even if your friend did something to you that can never be changed. Cut off your arm. You're not going to grow another one. It's all over. So you can be moichalim. Maybe I can never be moichalim because I can never get my arm back. The answer is no. So the Balatani, even something that will never come back, irreversible, you still have to be Michael. Kadisa B'Gemara Soper Ches Baba Kama, Tzanevesa Malaz, then Bikishman Gimel Bam, if he asks Mechile 3 times, V'lei Mochaloi, and you don't know Michael him, Shub Ein Tzorg L'Bakish Meni, who no longer has to ask you, it's your fault. Vakivoinim, right, the Givenites. Shebikish David HaMelech on David HaShalom, this is of course Nach, everybody knows Novi, when David HaMelech asked, Mechila Ba'ad Shol, for Shol HaMelech, Shehimis as a Givonim V'lei Ratzim Mocha Goza David Aleim, because they didn't want to be Michael, David HaMelech was Goza, Shaliyova B'Kal Hashem, they cannot come into the congregation of Israel. Sheim Rachmonim, Kedisa Be'Chesti Fomas, Ayim Chesobnei, based looking up into there, over Midas HaKodesh Baruch Hu, Achas Kama V'Kamal Inkits. If this is how a human being is meant to act, that is, we're meant to be Michael somebody else, even if they did irreversible damage to me, the Rabbeinu Shloim, even more so, always is Michael us. This that we say in Shemay Esra, and we shabech the Rabbeinu Shloim. Chanun hamarbe is loyach. Hamarbe is daika, is dafka. Kumash kosovazu. V'rab l'sloyach haynu. Shemidas basavadam yemyechte ish leish upikish menem chila. Let's say a guy does something wrong to you. He embarrasses you in public, and then he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that." Umachalai, and you michalim. And then 20 minutes later, he embarrasses you again. Like, hello? It's like, come on, the first time you did it, the second time you have to do it again. When we kosher came, I imagine it was slicious, the third time, Ruby is the fourth time. Avol, there's no enough community. If you did the Avera once, we did it 1,000 times. The Rabbeinu Shalom has the midah of midas harachmim, of the midah of mechila. It's not the pshat by the Rabbeinu Shalom, it's like a gvul. It's like a border, a boundary. It doesn't exist by the Rabbeinu Shalom, boundary. It's always, forever and ever, ever. Ein Sof, right? It's endless. When the Gabba Bechinas Ein Sof, Ein Hefesh Klabbe, Mispakot, and the Godel. If you're talking about something that is endless, there's no enough meaning between one time or 1,000 times that you did the Avera. The Kolai Kami, Kolai Mamish, Choshev, or Mashra and the Godel, Bechule. V'lachein, therefore. Mavash Moseinu, we say this, right? We just said it. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur now coming up. Right, the end of the bracha. We're about to do this Yom Kippur again and again and again. Every time we do video, we admit with the Al Chait, midday Shana. Didn't you do this last year? Didn't last year you said that? You said the Al Chait also last year, right? So you did this already. But you also did the Avera last year, and last Yom Kippur you also did Al Chait for it. But yet this year you did the same Avera again. But yet, the Rabbeinu Shalom said, "You're going to keep doing the same Avera." The Gemara tells us that davening was always connected a different korban. So tefillah is connected to the korban tomid. The tomid shel shacha, that's the morning one. It toned ala veres halayla. And anything that was done by night. The Tomid Shabbat Abayim, the Tomid that was brought in the afternoon, Al Shoyim, was Machapa for any Avera that was done during the day. Midday Yom Beyoy La'olam. They constantly bought this Tomid, because constantly people do Averas, and they did a Kapara. Elo, Sheyom HaKippurim Machapa Averas HaChamus. Yom Kippur is Machapa for the really serious, heavyweight Averas. But Tomid Shu Korban Oila, Machapa Mitzvah Sebel Vad, V'chein HaTefillah B'zman Hazeh Im HaTeshuva Kenal. That means, just like a Korban needed to be accompanied with tshuva for a kapara to happen, so to our tefillahs that we daven have to be accompanied with tshuva, lemaisa, for it actually to be chal. The inter echtov oshev. Now you'll tell me, hold on a second. Zuk the Balatani Chobakasha. Echtov oshev, right? The Rambam says that. That means if someone says, I'm going to do an avera, but I'll do tshuva, he cannot do tshuva. As the Rambam says. Frank the Balatanya, if you know you're going to do the Avera, then every single time you're doing Shiva, it's because you know you do the Avera. And every time you do the Avera, you know you're going to do Shiva on it. So it's Echta Oshav. Ki hainu dafka shebishas hachet hayoyochel lichboy shitzroi. At the time of doing the Avera, you be'etzem could have suppressed your Yetzer. You could have said no. Elo, shesoymech belib al Shiva. You're like, let me do the Avera. I'm doing Shiva anyway. It's going to keep coming closer. So I'll do tshuva anyway. Since at the end of the day, it was the tshuva that caused you to do the Avera, because you wouldn't have done it otherwise. You only did the Avera because you knew how to do the tshuva. So it was the tshuva that caused the Avera, Ema speaking. They're not going to help you do tshuva. Even then, Ema speaking dafka means it's not enough. But if you push, but also tshuva, and you actually do tshuva, for sure they're makabel it. Aval onu, us. שמבקש בכל יום סלח לנו, אנו מקדימים לבקש באכזבנו בתשובה שלמה לפניך. דהיינו, שלא נשוב אוי לכסילה. We don't want to get back to this Avera. We beg the Rebbeinu Shalom, we don't do the Avera again. וכן ביום הכיפור מבקשים יבצעו לפניך שלא יחטא עוד. Right after all the al-chaitz, we say this lashon and say it properly, mean it, understand the words. Rebbeinu Shalom, please help me. I don't want to do the Avera again. And if you mean it, Rebbeinu Shalom listens. But speaking, Rabbi Sinazal, haba the time Messiah, a person that haba the time Messiah said, help him. Haba daikel miyad shapa. We spoke about this Motzei Shabbos Slichas. Why does it say Apostle in David HaMelech said, my Averas are constantly in front of me? What does that mean? Why? Doesn't mean that he was always depressed because like, oy vay, I'm all these Averas that I've done, oy vay. That's not the pshat. This is the Tanya now talking about what he said in the beginning. You can have the two emotions together. Means you're happy. Since really you're meant to do the high Madrig of Tshuva, which is done by Emes with Simcha. What's this negdi? David HaMelech says, my Averas are negdi, opposite me, like, facing me, so to speak. Come over, Atotis, Titziatziv Meneged. Meneged sovel oy moed khanu peshashi murachoy ba mkhoven vaknabilti room levov vli yashva ruach b'fnei kol adam k'shei lezore lezikorin bein eno shachot neged Hashem va'adarabba le'inyan hasimcha yoyel zichron achet b'yas say faket. By remembering the Avera, it gives you more of a simcha. Listen to this, it's an amazing pshat. Why does it give you simcha remembering your Avera? B'chtei lekabel b'simcha kol ha'mo'ires ha'misrag shoyso boys bein min hashomain bein al yedei habriyos b'tibu oy b'maisa. That means when you remember your Averas, and then something happens to you that really is not Geshmak, it's really bad, whether it was caused by Shemaim or was caused by another human being, it's irrelevant. You'll be like, it's because I did all these Averas. You'll have something you want to quote unquote blame it on. So David HaMelech is telling us that the simcha that you have, and that's what the Tanya is explaining it, the simcha by remembering your Averas, it helps you. So when things happen in your life that are not Geshmak, you're going to understand it's because of what you did. This is a gewaldige aid of the Tanya to save yourself from anger. People get angry when something happens, like, why do a bunch of do this? But if you remember your Averas, you understand why. Which means that if a person gets embarrassed, he gets humiliated, and he doesn't embarrass back, he doesn't humiliate back, it's the most incredible thing in the world. The Marvino Kopshot, they mamish get rid of all of these Averas. It's an amazing thing. But his idea over here is that number one is we're meant to think of Averas, we're meant to know about it. It's not called Echtov Osho when we do Averas because we really don't want to do them again. We daven not to do it again. And the simcha that we have is the simcha that we remember what we have and how much the Rebbeinu Shalom is Chan and Amar B'Islah, that he constantly is giving us a mechila, even though we constantly do it again and again and again and again. And the last thing is that they said is the remembrance of the Averis, so that when something happens that's not Geshmak, you understand where it all came from. The Siyata Deshmaya, the last Perek Yud Beis, Be'ez Hashem. See him, we'll do a see him outside.